NCIS Season 22, Episode 5 features a case that forces MCRT to deal with a supposed Cold War spy. The NCIS Season 22 cast has brought back every prominent cast member from Season 21, even though the year started with everyone seemingly busy with their individual endeavors. Jessica Knight was the Chief React Training Officer at California's Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, Nick Torres was undercover, and Tim McGee was vying for a promotion. Eventually, all of them made their way back to Navy Yard. The premiere introduces NCIS Season 22's new villain, Gabriel LaRoche, a new character played by Seamus Dever. LaRoche poses a massive threat to NCIS and national security. Subsequently, director Leon Vance, Rocky Carroll, and the team deal with the unexpected death of a diplomatic envoy. NCIS Season 22, Episode 4, follows up the most significant blow to the MCRT yet when Alden Parker and his team find themselves trying to defuse World War III after an algorithm written by Curtis intercepts communication from Belarus. Episode 5 introduces another threat to national security with a thrilling, heartfelt twist. 8. Nick Torres has joined MateQuest at Jimmy's recommendation. Nick and Jimmy are looking for love. Nick Torres in NCIS custom image by Yaida Chacon. In the opening of NCIS Season 22, Episode 5, In From the Cold, Nick Torres, Wilma Valderrama, questions Agent McGee, Sean Murray, about having to hype himself up when applying for the NCIS Deputy Director position, which ultimately went to Gabriel LaRoche. McGee agrees that he had to make himself look and sound suitable for the job application and asks if Nick is also looking for a new position. Nick explains that he isn't looking to hype himself up for a new job but for a new relationship. Jess eagerly joins the discussion, excited about her teammate. In NCIS Season 22, Episode 3, Nick reveals to Jess that he wants to put himself out there again. Initially, Nick was just on MateQuest to play wingman to Dr. Jimmy Palmer, Jess' ex, but he reveals that he has his own profile in Episode 5. The revelation leads to some pretty humorous discussions about Nick's profile, including the possibility that Nick took professional pictures with someone else's dog to seem more likable. Nick initially thinks his profile doesn't need any words since his appearance sells him well enough. Captain Thomas Butler has a hostage at the Navy hospital, and the team searching him shuts the power off. There is more to Captain Thomas Butler than meets the eye. Captain Thomas Butler in the hospital in NCIS Season 22 Episode 5. The team is called into the Liberty Naval Hospital after a report comes in that there is an active hostage situation. Despite enjoying Parker's box of delicious scones, the team rushes to investigate. The team finds Thomas Butler, a retired Navy captain who oddly speaks Finnish, at the hospital, although he claims he does not know another language. The hospital explains that Butler is time-shifting into old memories and provides a series of numbers translated from Finnish that Butler spoke while experiencing temporary confusion. When McGee plugs Butler's name and the numbers he listed into a database, it shuts down his phone. McGee uses the hospital's computers to perform the search, which shuts down the hospital's electricity and takes the power out on the entire city block. Casey crafts a countermeasure for the tripwire, which stops it from shutting down another system and sends the bug back to the CIA, who comes to NCIS looking for answers. MCRT alerts the CIA and learns the truth about Butler. CIA Officer Conrad provides MCRT with classified information. CIA Officer Conrad in NCIS Season 22 Episode 5. When NCIS tries to access more information about Butler, their search tips off the CIA, and CIA Officer Conrad arrives at the Navy Yard to control the damage. Conrad demands that NCIS stop their investigation, but when Vance refuses, Conrad begins to cooperate with the agency, or so it seems. Conrad informs Parker and director Leon Vance that Butler was an intelligence operative for the Soviet Union during the Cold War and that the CIA learned about the operation in the 1970s, allowing him to live out his American disguise and retire under supervision after the fall of his country. Conrad's explanation baffles Parker and Vance, including why the CIA allegedly let a Russian spy work at the Pentagon. However, the CIA agent insists that intelligence requires playing the long game, claiming that the CIA was manipulating the leak to control the flow of information. Despite Conrad insisting that Butler wasn't a threat, Agent Knight calls moments later to inform Parker that Butler killed a hospital attendant and is on the run. The development entangles Conrad in Parker's investigation, and his story changes to accommodate that they didn't know Butler was their undercover agent. Torres and McGee bond over their absent fathers. Nick and Tim have a shared experience. Nick Torres in NCIS Season 22 Episode 5. In investigating the case of Thomas Butler, the team works closely with Thomas' son Danny, who tells the team about his father's absence during his childhood due to his time in the Navy. When MCRT gets Butler's files from his and his son's house, McGee remarks how it reminds him of his father's old office, which was full of Navy stuff but lacked a single family photo. Torres comments that it sounds like Captain Butler was in a club with both of their dads. Danny's experience brings up some shared emotions for Nick Torres and Timothy McGee.